Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of the South Central Louisiana State Dynasty. Today we are going back on the road once again to play the Miami Hurricanes, who are having a good season in their own right. They are 8-3 on the season, A's across the board. But even though we may be considered a heavy underdog on paper, Curb Herd Streets are going to ride with us here today, so we're going to try to get this win. Alright, so here we are at the Orange Bowl, home of these ranked Hurricanes. We are ranked higher though, so hopefully that means we can get this dub here today. First things first though, we are going to jump into the coin toss, and it's actually going to be tails, so Miami is going to elect to kick the ball to us. We are going to start with this football. First carry is going to go to Casey Buck. He's going to swing out to the left hand side for a gain of 7 yards. Going into this game, he has over 1,200 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. This kid is special. It's going to be big for us in order to get this win here on the road once again. However, second and free, and it looks like Tim Smith is going to get the, actually not Tim Smith, but Ryan Wilson. I got that mixed up because Ryan Wilson usually doesn't have that sure of hands. He did make the catch that time though, and he almost makes the catch the second time around. Unfortunately, it was thrown behind him. Third and 6 though for the Mud Dogs, and Stan Castillo is going to drop back the pass. He tries to throw it up the middle, but it is nearly picked off, and the Mud Dogs are going to have to punt this ball away. However, the true freshman punter gets in there. He dents a really nice punt inside the 5-yard line, and it sets up the Mud Dog defense beautifully for this first defensive possession. However, ensuing play, the star running back in, it looks like, what was that? Devon Bell just shreds the defense for 25 yards, and it just gets this Miami offense going. They run in no huddle, and Miami is one of the more talented offensive teams, underperforming just a little bit thus far in the season, but we still can't take them for granted as Devon Bell carries the ball for another 12 yards. He already has nearly 40 yards off of just 2 carries so far today. Next play, quarterback is going to drop back the pass. He's going to find Drew Lundy, who gains 5 yards off the little crossing route for up the middle. And on the next play, Deion Thompson, he's going to gain 16. And then it looks like they're going to nearly finish off the drive as Chris Young is able to get it within the 5-yard line. Yet it's not considered a first and goal situation just yet. Next play, star running back's going to carry it up the middle. He has a convoy ahead of him, and just like that, the Miami Hurricanes are going to get on the board here for their very first touchdown of the day. Miami is up 7-0. Alright, so the Mud Dogs has some work to do right now, but you gotta believe in this football team. They play Texas A&M extremely well, and we have our star quarterback in Stan Castillo, who has over 800 yards rushing in his own right. Dude has been balling out for a true freshman. But can he lead us to the big victory we are about to see here in this particular game as he connects with Tim Smith for a gain of 15. And then on the following play, Stan Castillo is going to drop back once again. He doesn't see anybody open, but he has some amazing foot speed, using that 87 speed to his advantage and gains 7 yards all by himself. Definitely is a special football player, even though he did get batted down there at the line of scrimmage. Third and free for the Mud Dogs, so we're going to try to run a halfback screen, and Stan Castillo does not have enough time to get the ball off. So just like that, what had some promise for our offense has to turn into another punt. Now the Miami Hurricanes have the ball, and they are driving already on the 35-yard line. Mud Dogs defense needs to get another stop to avoid getting momentum to the home team early on. Second and 5 though for the Hurricanes, and Devon Bell is going to cut it to the right-hand side. He breaks a tackle, and he's going to have a convoy going up the right-hand sideline, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Rush defense has been a big concern early on in this game, usually doing a really good job of containing the run, but are just having a hard time with it early on in this ball game. Second and free for the Hurricanes. Star quarterback is going to, and Chris Young drops back to pass, gets it to Kyle Roberts up the middle for a gain of 6 yards, but it'll be for another first down. Here they are inside the red zone now. It might as well be 1st and goal. And he throws a beautiful lob pass to Tyrone Robinson, who comes down with a catch. And it is now a 14-0 ball game here with about a minute left in this first quarter. So now the Mud Dogs, if they really need to get something going here, this is not going to be like the Texas A&M game where the defense is going to be able to hold them for a good portion of the game. Going to have to get the offense going as well. Speaking of our offense, Stan Castillo is going to spin away from multiple defenders, gains 11 yards, and gets a 1st down for the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. Ensuing play, it's a throw up the middle of the play action, and Tim Smith has all day long 55-yard touchdown, and the Mud Dogs are on the board to end this first quarter. And now has some positive momentum going into the second quarter. Let's see if we can translate it into maybe a lead for this Mud Dog football team as Tyrone Robinson gets another catch for 10 yards. 1st and 10 for Miami. Chris Young is going to motion a man out to the left-hand side and is going to open up the middle as Drew Lundy is able to corral the 11-yard catch off the slant route for another 1st down in Mud Dog territory this time around. Next play, but Chris Young does get sacked by Nicholas Beverly, who has been a star player for our football team on the defensive side. Don't hear Bob Boucher's name as often, but he's still a good player in his own right. However, 2nd and 5, and it's going to be another run for Devon Bell. Where Wild Robodux is able to get to him, showing the run support, but that he was so well known for during his junior redshirt campaign. But the Miami Hurricanes are now officially in the red zone for the 3rd time today. Can the Mud Dogs step up? This might be one of those things where the 3rd time is a charm, and it's gonna happen just like that. 4th and 8, and the Miami Hurricanes are gonna have to settle for a field goal. So stopping them on the field goal is extremely promising, but can we get some more offense going, get some multiple possessions together? Gonna have to wait and see here. However, Stan Castillo is gonna give us a reason to believe, and he's gonna throw it up the middle for Casey Bug for a gain of 15 yards. Just getting some rhythm going for our offense as Casey Bug is stopped for a loss of 5. 3rd and 15 now for the Mud Dogs, and Stan Castillo is going to throw it up the middle to Nate Colvin and is able to get down easily, get a 1st down, and continue this drive for the Mud Dogs as Stan Castillo takes that run. 2nd and 4 for South Central Louisiana State. It's going to be a read option that Carl Wright is going to keep, and he gets lit up like a Christmas tree, but still gets the 1st down nonetheless. Mud Dogs are now in the red zone inside the 15-yard line, and Stan Castillo is going to run it up the middle, nearly gets the touchdown, but it will be a 1st and goal on the 4-yard line. Running back is going to go into motion, and Casey Bug's going to get the rock here and get into the end zone with ease, and it is now just a 3-point game here in Miami, Florida, thanks to the 4-yard touchdown run. So there's only a minute left here in this first half already. So if we can hold them to a complete stop before we go into halftime, that would definitely be beneficial for our chances to win this game. However, Miami has other ideas as he throws a dot to Tyrone Robertson for a gain of 20. And Miami is just moving the ball up the field with ease, and they still have, I believe, a timeout or two to work with. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, however. Chris Young is also going to scramble upfield for an easy gain of 17 yards, already in the red zone once again. Could this mean another touchdown for the Hurricanes? However, Nicholas Beverly has other ideas, and he gets a 2nd sack of the day. Forces the Hurricanes to go into a no huddle. However, throws a dot to Simon Thompson, who is able to burn his defender, and Miami is going to take a 24-14 lead. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the half. The Miami Hurricanes are going to get the ball to start the second half. Going to have to make some adjustments here if we want to come back and win this game. And the adjustments are paying off early on as we force a 3 and out. However, Mike Bullock is trying to field his punt, and with the rain, it is difficult to field a punt, and it is nearly turned over. Thankfully, our boys are able to fall on it. However, we couldn't do anything with the ball after that, so Miami's going to have the ball right back. Chris Young is going to drop back to pass and get to Simon Thompson for a gain of 13 with only 5 catches, but he has 80 yards on the day already. Next play, quarterback Chris Young is going to drop back again, this time getting it to Billy Hicks, who gets his second catch on the day for 17 yards and a first down. Jason Washington, on the other hand, he gets into the backfield, and that's already the 3rd sack for the Mud Dogs, just laying the wood on the quarterback. Sets up this 3rd and 20, and while it's a long game for Devon Bell, the Hurricanes are going to have to punt it away, and all of a sudden the Mud Dogs are showing a little bit more life. They're playing a lot better here in the second half, as Stan Castillo avoids the sack and is going to take off with it, gain 8 yards on the play right there. Man, what a wonderful play, able to create something out of nothing. Thought that man was going to be caught in the backfield for a sack, but instead it leads to a Casey Bug run for another first down, and maybe that can lead to bigger things for our offense. In the meantime, Castillo drops back to Ryan Wilson, makes the beautiful 10 toes down catch for a gain of 15, and then TJ Wood just runs up the seam with beautiful precision, gets it in Miami Hurricanes territory. So next play here, Casey Bug is going to get to keep the ball on the read option, gains 9 yards, which does set up a 2nd and 1. And then on this next play right here, Stan Castillo is going to keep it this time around, and it's going to be an even bigger game that sets them up in the goal line. 1st and 10 for your South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. And then it leads to this beautiful throw up the middle. Was nearly a touchdown, but will be stopped inside the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal for the Mud Dogs on the 2. It's going to be a quarterback run up the middle, and it works to perfection as Stan Castillo gets his first rushing touchdown of the day. He hasn't had to rely on the legs nearly as much, but is able to get it done with the arm nonetheless. And that's the first time that he's had a rushing touchdown today, which usually doesn't take him that long to do that. We are going into the 4th quarter though, and we have closed the gap. We're only down by a field goal, and we're putting ourselves in a position to win this ball game. In the meantime, Bobby Boucher makes a beautiful deflection. He's just been all over this field today, already with 6 tackles and a deflection. Thought he was going to be able to pick that ball off, but that's simply not going to be the case. 3rd and inches for the Hurricanes, what could be a big play, and the Mud Dogs do stuff him up the middle, however is able to get just enough for the first down. Don't agree with the call personally, but I'm not a computer referee. However, Joe Hines is actually going to get a carry, his first on the day for 8 yards. First time that we called his name today, but he's going to be pulled right out for the star running back in Devin Bell, who gets a similar gain as well. Hurricanes are starting to reassert themselves. They're going to try to make this a 2-possession game here in this 4th quarter, and that could be a dagger if we let that happen. So going to work to make sure that for sure doesn't happen. However, the Hurricanes have other ideas as the star receiver is going to get into the end zone, but there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be against the Hurricanes with that clipping call, which moves them back 15 yards. Going to be a 3rd and 16 coming up. So thanks to the penalty, Miami's going to have to try again on a longer 3rd down, and they're not going to get it this time around, which means the Hurricanes will have to settle for a field goal. Alright, so this could potentially be our last possession of the game, so we got to make it count here. Casey Bug is going to take the run up the gut for a gain of 17, which sets up another short 3rd and 5, which Stan Castillo is going to run for it, and is able to utilize that speed to get another first down for your Mud Dogs. 1st and 10 for Stan Castillo and the Mud Dogs offense. It's going to be a throw up the middle to TJ Wood. He's able to make the easy catch for a gain of 14 yards. And now we are in Miami territory. Next play though, Casey Bugg is going to get the halfback screen. He breaks the first tackle, nearly breaks his second, but gains 7 more yards on the play for a 2nd and 3. 3rd and 2 though, going to try to run it up the middle here, but Casey Bugg just did not see the hole, and it's going to be a 4th and 1. And of course we are going to go for it here. However, our offensive line gets blown up, and that could be our last opportunity to get the ball back. 3rd and 5 is going to be a big play for us, and he throws it away. So the Mud Dogs are going to get the ball back, and we have 1 timeout to work with as well. So this is definitely for sure going to be our last possession. This is definitely meant to be. We can actually come back, win this game potentially. We just got to make this possession count. 30 seconds left. Stan Castillo is going to drop back. He's going to get it to Darren Joyce, who gains 9 yards on the play, and it's going to force the Mud Dogs to go into the no huddle once again. Throws a beautiful pass to Darren Joyce, but he drops it, and even worse, he gets hurt on the play. Hopefully it's not too serious. However, we will have to be without one of our veteran receivers, but Tim Smith, he's going to outrun his corner. Nobody is there behind him, and with only 14 seconds left, the Mud Dogs are going to take a 1-point lead. So all we have to do, they're going to have roughly 3 plays left. We just got to hold them outside of field goal range. First play is going to be a throw to Simon Thompson for 8 yards. Going to keep them in front. Try not to give up the big pass. Next play is going to be a longer pass for Simon Thompson again. This time however, they only have 5 seconds left. So this is going to be the final play of the game. Chris Young's going to drop back. And oh my goodness, Simon Thompson gets behind our entire defense. So what looked like was going to be a last-second comeback win for the Mud Dogs, it was an even crazier comeback win for the Miami Hurricanes. So after that crazy display of the final 20 seconds in the 4th quarter, the Hurricanes are going to come out and win 35-28. They did go for the 2-point conversion right after the touchdown, and of course they got it because it didn't really matter for us. And yeah, it's definitely extremely heartbreaking to lose in this way. That man up 3 deep is something that we have always used in those late game situations. It has always worked for us, and this time it just simply did not work. Although you can't blame it on Stan Castillo though. He was 17 for 24 on the day for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns, including what we thought was going to be the game-winning score with only 15 seconds left. He did take a sack, but he played extremely well. He used his arm. He definitely is starting to grow some arm talent, and he also led us in rushing yards. He had 77 rushing yards off of 14 carries. He had the 1 rushing touchdown, but he's not relying on his legs as much, and that's okay because the less hits that he takes, the longer that he can have a long and healthy career. Casey Bugg chipped in for 56 yards and the other rushing touchdown. For our receivers, Casey Bugg did lead us in receptions for 5 receptions for 24 yards, and then Tim Smith had both receiving touchdown passes from Stan Castillo. He had 3 catches for 92 yards on this day. Finally, our defense today was led by Bobby Boucher, a sophomore redshirt that we were extremely lucky to have. He had 9 tackles today, all of them which were solo. The only other thing that he really did though was have that deflection. But the rest of the defense, aside from that final drive, they did a pretty solid job. Nicholas Beverly led the team in both tackles for a loss and sacks. We had 5 sacks total, and that was most of the TFLs. We had 1 more TFL from Jason Washington, who was able to get to the running back for a loss. But yeah, it just really sucks to lose the way that we did because this team played extremely hard in terms of getting back in the second half, and it just hurts to lose this way. But it's definitely a learning experience to play against these bigger Power 5 schools and be competitive. Alright, so next week we are going to have our Senior Day special going up against the Old Dominion Monarchs for a season finale, as well as try to go undefeated in Sun Belt play. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this video. Make sure you leave a like, and if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as that really helps me out tremendously. Until then, I will see you guys next time with the next episode in this series. Until then, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.